Hello, my dear learners. Welcome back to JISH, Learn English Podcast. I'm Shaylin. Today, we're continuing our shadowing practice series. Remember, this is slow English, so I'll speak slowly and clearly, and you'll repeat with me. You know, that first day at a new job is something we all remember. We feel excited and a little nervous too. We wonder, how will my colleagues be? Will I get along with them easily? Will I sound confident when I speak? It's completely normal to feel that way. So today, we'll shadow 80 real-life sentences that will help you speak naturally and confidently at work. Let's begin with the first part, introducing yourself. When you meet someone for the first time, the goal is simple. Smile, make eye contact, and say who you are and what you do. Let's try that first. Hi, I'm Shaylin. I just joined as a social media manager. Hi, I'm Shaylin. I just joined as a social media manager. You can replace my name and job with yours. Like, hi, I'm Rena. I just joined as a project coordinator. That's clear, short, and confident. Here's another way to continue the introduction. Nice to meet you. I'll be working in the marketing department. Nice to meet you. I'll be working in the marketing department. And you can also add a friendly, positive line like this. I'm excited to be here and learn from everyone. I'm excited to be here and learn from everyone. Now, something you can say when you feel new or a little lost. This is my first day, so I'm still finding my way around. This is my first day, so I'm still finding my way around. And one more sentence that helps others understand what you'll be doing. I'll be focusing on digital campaigns. I'll be focusing on digital campaigns. Well done! You're building that confidence already. Let's keep shadowing together. Now imagine you're talking to someone from another team. You want to sound friendly and professional. You can say, I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. And this next one adds warmth and a touch of humility. I'm new to the team, but eager to contribute. I'm new to the team, but eager to contribute. Here's something that always makes people smile. I've heard great things about the company culture. I've heard great things about the company culture. If you want to invite a little advice, this next line is perfect. Please feel free to share any tips for settling in. Please feel free to share any tips for settling in. And if you've seen your team online before joining, you can say this one. I'm happy to finally put faces to names. I'm happy to finally put faces to names. Well done again. You're sounding more natural, more confident, more like yourself. Let's keep going. Sometimes on the first day, we want to tell people we're still learning. Here's a polite way to do that. I'm still learning the ropes, so I appreciate guidance. I'm still learning the ropes, so I appreciate guidance. Learning the ropes means understanding how things work. It's a very common expression at work. Next one, a simple line that shows positive energy. I'm glad to join such a creative environment. I'm glad to join such a creative environment. And if you want to let people know what you handle, you can say, I'll be handling social media content, so I may ask questions. I'll be handling social media content, so I may ask questions. Well done! You're really doing great. Every time you repeat, your voice becomes more confident. Now, this next one shows curiosity, the good kind of curiosity. I'm excited to see how things work here day to day. I'm excited to see how things work here day to day. And this one helps you build connection with the group. I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone better. I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone better. If people have been kind and welcoming, you can say, I'm grateful for the warm welcome already. I'm grateful for the warm welcome already. Perfect. That sounds polite, sincere, and warm. Now, here's a sentence that really shows teamwork. I'm here to support the team however I can. I'm here to support the team however I can. And one more when you want to sound genuinely interested in the work. I'm curious to learn about ongoing projects. I'm curious to learn about ongoing projects. Well done! You're doing beautifully. Let's finish this part with two final phrases that sound confident and happy. I'm thrilled to start this new chapter. I'm thrilled to start this new chapter. It's great to finally be here in person. It's great to finally be here in person. Wonderful. Take a deep breath. You've just completed your first shadowing section, introducing yourself at work. Each of these sentences helps you sound more friendly, natural, and confident. And remember, confidence is not about speaking fast. It's about speaking calmly, smiling, and connecting with others. Now that you've introduced yourself, let's move to the next step, getting to know others. This is where you start friendly conversations and learn more about your colleagues. Remember, you don't need to sound formal, just friendly, curious, and open. Let's shadow together. When you meet a teammate, you can start by asking, "What's your role here?" What's your role here? It's short, polite, and shows genuine interest. Next, you can ask, how long have you been with the company? How long have you been with the company? That question helps you understand their experience, and it keeps the conversation natural. Here's another great question that makes people smile. What do you enjoy most about working here? What do you enjoy most about working here? Now, when you want to talk about their work, you can say, "What kind of projects are you currently working on?" What kind of projects are you currently working on? And this one is nice when you're curious about their career path. How did you get started in this field? How did you get started in this field? Good. You're building connection step by step. Here's another friendly one. What's been your favorite project so far? What's been your favorite project so far? And if you want to understand how their work connects to yours, ask, do you usually collaborate with the marketing department? Do you usually collaborate with the marketing department? This next question helps you learn what daily life looks like in the office. What's a typical day like for you here? What's a typical day like for you here? And to keep it light and positive, you can ask, what's the best part of your job? What's the best part of your job? And here's one that makes them reflect. How did you find your first week when you joined? How did you find your first week when you joined? Well done. You're doing great. You're learning to speak naturally, and every time you repeat, your confidence grows. Let's keep shadowing and continue the conversation flow. If you want to know more about teamwork, you can say, do you work closely with the design team? Do you work closely with the design team? Here's a lovely question that shows positivity. What's the most rewarding part of your role? What's the most rewarding part of your role? Now, imagine chatting during morning coffee. How do you usually start your mornings here? How do you usually start your mornings here? If you're new and want advice, this one fits perfectly. What's one tip you'd give a newcomer like me? What's one tip you'd give a newcomer like me? And if the person works with clients, you can say, do you often interact with clients or customers? Do you often interact with clients or customers? Here's another one that makes the other person share a bit of their story. What's been the most challenging project you've had? What's been the most challenging project you've had? If you're trying to understand how communication works at the office, ask, how do teams usually share updates here? How do teams usually share updates here? This one brings a warm tone to the chat. What's your favorite thing about the office environment? What's your favorite thing about the office environment? And one more to keep the talk casual and friendly. How do you usually spend breaks during the day? How do you usually spend breaks during the day? Beautiful work. You've now learned how to start real, natural conversations with your colleagues. Every phrase you shadow builds your confidence, not just in English, but in how you connect with people. Take a moment to smile. You're doing so well. Now that you're feeling more confident, let's move to something that happens all the time at work. Casual small talk. You know, those little everyday conversations near the coffee machine, in the hallway, or during short breaks. They may sound simple, but they help you build friendly connections and feel part of the team. Let's shadow together. You can start with something light and friendly, like, "How's your day going so far?" "How's your day going so far?" If your colleague just arrived, this is a great one. "Did you have a long commute today?" "Did you have a long commute today?" And here's a common topic that always works: coffee. Do you usually grab coffee here or outside? Do you usually grab coffee here or outside? When you're new and curious about lunch places, try this. "I'm still figuring out lunch spots. Any recommendations?" "I'm still figuring out lunch spots. Any recommendations?" And to keep the talk going, ask, "Do you usually bring lunch or eat out?" "Do you usually bring lunch or eat out?" Well done! You're doing great! See how natural these lines sound? Just like chatting with a colleague. Let's keep going. When you're on break and want to continue friendly talk, you can say, "How do you usually spend your breaks?" "How do you usually spend your breaks?" Or, if you want to ask for coffee tips, "Is there a good cafe nearby?" "Is there a good cafe nearby?" Here's one that adds a little personality. Do you prefer working mornings or afternoons? Do you prefer working mornings or afternoons? And of course, weather is a classic small talk topic. How's the weather treating you today? How's the weather treating you today? Another way to connect is to ask about work routines. Do you usually start early or later in the day? Do you usually start early or later in the day? You're doing so well! You're learning how to sound relaxed and friendly, just like native speakers do at work. Now, here are more phrases that keep the small talk going. Have you tried the cafeteria food here? Have you tried the cafeteria food here? If your company allows hybrid work, you can ask, "Do you usually work from home sometimes?" Do you usually work from home sometimes? And to add a friendly personal touch, what's your favorite way to unwind after work? What's your favorite way to unwind after work? Here's one you can use with a smile. Do you listen to music while working? Do you listen to music while working? If it's a Friday conversation, this one fits perfectly. How do you usually spend weekends? How do you usually spend weekends? Well done. You're getting into the rhythm of natural small talk. Let's do the last few together. Have you discovered any good restaurants around here? Have you discovered any good restaurants around here? Do you prefer tea or coffee? Do you prefer tea or coffee? Is there a good spot for quick snacks nearby? Is there a good spot for quick snacks nearby? Do you usually park here or take public transport? Do you usually park here or take public transport? And here's one that's perfect for when you're comparing experiences. How's the office vibe compared to other places you've worked? How's the office vibe compared to other places you've worked? Excellent work. You've now practiced real, easy-to-use small talk sentences, the kind that make conversations natural, friendly, and open. Each phrase you repeat helps you sound confident, approachable, and comfortable in your new workplace. Now, before we finish, let's do our last set for today. Polite workplace phrases. These are the phrases that make you sound respectful, thankful, and professional, especially when you're new at work and learning from others. Let's shadow them together. You can begin with something warm when you meet a colleague. Nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to working together. Nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to working together. When someone explains something to you, show appreciation. Thanks for explaining that. It's really helpful. Thanks for explaining that. It's really helpful. And when someone supports you as you're learning, you can say, I appreciate your guidance as I'm settling in. I appreciate your guidance as I'm settling in. If you receive a small suggestion or piece of advice, you can respond with, That's a great tip. Thank you. That's a great tip. Thank you. Or you can sound professional and careful like this. I'll make sure to keep that in mind. I'll make sure to keep that in mind. Well done. You're sounding confident and polite at the same time. Let's keep going. When someone helps you find your way, you can say, Thanks for pointing me in the right direction. Thanks for pointing me in the right direction. And if a colleague takes time to guide you, this one fits perfectly. I appreciate you taking the time to show me. I appreciate you taking the time to show me. If something wasn't clear before and now you understand, say, That makes things much clearer. Thanks. That makes things much clearer. Thanks. And when you decide to follow advice, this is polite and natural. I'll follow your advice on that. I'll follow your advice on that. If someone helps you get started on a new task, you can say, Thanks for helping me get started. Thanks for helping me get started. Well done. You're doing amazing. These small, polite phrases make a big impression in the workplace. Now, let's continue with a few more. When you feel thankful for a colleague's kindness, you can say, I'm grateful for your support today. I'm grateful for your support today. Or even more warmly, That's very kind of you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. When you learn something new, you can respond with, I'll be sure to remember that. I'll be sure to remember that. And if someone shares their experience, you can say, Thanks for sharing your experience with me. Thanks for sharing your experience with me. When you want to appreciate the team or your manager, say, I appreciate the warm welcome. I appreciate the warm welcome. Beautiful! You're sounding respectful, thoughtful, and kind. Let's finish the last few together. That's useful to know. Thanks. That's useful to know. Thanks. I'll keep learning as I go, so I value your input. I'll keep learning as I go, so I value your input. Thanks for making my first day smoother. Thanks for making my first day smoother. I really appreciate your patience. I really appreciate your patience. And finally, the perfect phrase to end on a positive note. That's very encouraging. Thank you. That's very encouraging. Thank you. Wonderful work! You've just completed your 80-sentence shadowing practice full of natural, real-life English workplace. Remember, speaking politely and warmly not only improves your English, it helps you build genuine relationships at work. Take a deep breath, smile, and feel proud of yourself. You're learning to speak English with confidence, calmness, and connection. Now, before the end today's episode, I want you to pause and reflect for a moment. Think about this. How would you like to introduce yourself on your first day? Which of today's sentences felt most natural to you? And when you imagine your first conversation at work, how do you want people to feel when they talk to you? These small reflections help you make English more personal, not just words, but your voice, your feelings, your confidence. So take a moment to answer these questions in your mind. And if you'd like, share your thoughts with me in the comments below. I'd love to know which phrases you found most helpful today. And if you enjoyed this shadowing practice, make sure to like this episode, share it with your friends, and subscribe to JISH Learn English podcast so you never miss a new lesson. Your support helps this community grow, a place where we learn, feel, and speak English together. I'm Shaylin, and I'll see you in our next JISH Learn English podcast episode. Until then, keep practicing and keep believing in yourself. And take care of yourself.